hearing your voice. Then that second attempt is some kind of a text message. So maybe you're contacting somebody through, text message. And so you're sending her a text, or maybe you're sending her a message through Facebook Messenger, or maybe you're sending her a message through Instagram or another form of communication, but it's some kind of a text. All right. So it's voice, text, and then that is when you switch it up. Okay. So the first day is when you send a voice message and a text message all at once. And then you're going to let it sit for a couple days, because how many of us have done this before, right? You get that message, you're in the middle feeding your kids, or you're changing a diaper, or somebody's calling you, or you've got, the mailman or the UPS guy rings the doorbell. You're in the middle of reading a message and you don't respond because you saw it, but in that moment, like, you just forgot about it. Okay. And so we're going to give her 48 hours to get back to you, just in case she had one of those moments, and she's going to get back to you when she has time. Okay. And so you're going to start tomorrow. So that first list of 10 women, you're going to reach out to them tomorrow, and you're going to call them or voice message them. And then you're going to text them. And then you're going to let them sit for 48 hours. Okay. And you're going to start all over on Thursday with a new set of women. And those women will be fresh and excited to hear from you, because they didn't hear from you the day before, right? And so you're going to voice, okay, a message to them, and you're going to text those women. And then you're going to let them give you some time to respond. And so the idea is that we are leaving time in between these attempts to give people a chance to respond to us. Why is this important? It's important because we don't want to just like bombard somebody 3 days in a row. And like I said, it's sometimes in those repeated attempts, oftentimes it's in that, that second or third text message that I remember that I owe somebody a call back. Or it's many times, I saw their, they left a voicemail. I hadn't had a chance to listen to it. And then she texts me, and I remember that I had to call her back. And so that's what these are. These are just reminders to them. And then once you've done this on Thursday, on Friday, you're going to start with your next 10 women, and you're going to voice message them, and you're going to text them. And then you're going to go back to that original list, and you'll have rotated your list of 30 women, and we'll go back to that original list that you reached out to yesterday on Saturday, and you're going to voice message or call them again. And then you're going to text them again. And we're going to give you all the scripting and language for that. But what I want you to know is that this is truly that follow-up system. And once you've had those 6 attempts, okay, what will we do? We're just going to kind of keep that list, and whoever hasn't answered us, we're going to put it to the side for a month or so, and we'll come back and we'll revisit that list, but we're going to let it sit there for a little bit, and we're going to continue to rotate through our contact list. And that's why it's so important to always be getting referrals at your appointments. That's why it's so important to just always continue to think outside the box and who were potential contacts. I want to give you a great story. And I shared this with Christine that, I just had a facial today, a virtual facial. And it's someone that I know. I've known her my whole life, literally. Her dad is my grandfather's much younger sibling, who's my mom's age. Okay, just to give you an idea. And so her and I are a couple years apart. I've known her my whole life. I just had not even thought of reaching out to her. But one day I was looking through I'm like, I know so many people. I'm going to look through my social media. And I looked through my Instagram and I saw her name. I was like, oh my gosh, of course I need to reach out to her. And so I sent her a quick message, looking to book her and get her opinion on her skin analyzer app. And so she did it, and she sent me her results, and she said, well, what does this all mean? And I said, well, I'm going to give you a quick 10, 15-minute consultation to give you a debrief about your results. And so we did that. And that day she was like, I am pushing 40. I need to get on my skincare game. And so she became a customer that day. Okay. And she purchased a miracle set and a charcoal mask, and she started using it. So I said, okay, well, now that you've got your product, I want to teach you how to use them. Okay. And so today we had our virtual facial. And I taught her, I answered all her questions. She washed her face with me on the virtual facial. I did it alongside of her. And, I taught her how to apply the eye cream, and we got some questions out of the way. And then she was interested in buying product for her boys and who are teenagers now. And so the relationship continues, and she's like, all the girls in my office noticed a difference in my skin already, and so they were asking me questions. And so we booked a lunch facial for her and it's 6 other women in her office next week on Thursday, okay, for lunchtime. And right away, it's like, so it continues to grow. And that is just a perfect example of how that follow-up, it's just about, booking is really all about follow-up. It hardly ever happens on the initial attempt. And so there's so many different people that you need to go back to, that you can go back through. And so when you're speaking to them, really letting them know the urgency, that you're booking for this week, that you're booking for now. All of your messages at the end will end with something along the lines of, I'm going to be reaching back out to you in a couple days. So, don't worry. If you can't get back to me, I'll be reaching back out to you. All right. And you're going to be saying a version of that. And you may say, I'm going to call you back in a couple days, or, you'll be hearing back from me in a couple days. Don't worry. I know you're busy. I am too. And what that does is that it gives you permission to call. It also puts you on the hook because you told her you were going to reach out again in a couple of days. And so when you reach out in a couple of days, she's not going to think, oh my God, she's calling me again. She's going to think she's a woman of her word. She has integrity. She told me she was going to reach back out, and she did. And so that is what our messages sound like. And after that last attempt, you'll say something along the lines of, listen, it seems like things are really busy right now, and it might not be the perfect timing, but that's okay. I know things change, so I'll reach out to you in a couple months. And that gives you permission to reach back out again when things may be different. Maybe right now, like many of us, she's in that, I have no idea what's happening with school, or I don't know what's going on, right? And so, but 2 months from now, things may be settled and she can answer your call. And so just know that many times a no answer doesn't actually mean no. It can mean not right now. I'll give you another little story about this and about just having consistency and persistence with booking. I had a woman that I met her at a skincare class. She was super sharp. I really wanted to book her. But she was about to leave on a trip. It was August, actually, 6 years ago. And she was about to leave on a trip for 3 or 4 weeks right before school started, to where her husband was from in Africa. And so this was up in DC when I lived there. And so she said, call me when I get back. And so I called her in September, and of course it was school had just started in Virginia, and she's like, listen, she had 3 girls. I'm getting the 3 girls settled for school. Call me back in a month. And by the time I got around to calling her a month or so later, it was around Thanksgiving time. She goes, oh, we're going to go visit my family in South Carolina. Can you call me again, after the holidays? I kept putting her down. And so that January, after the holidays had passed, I called her again. And so she said, oh my goodness, I keep catching you at the wrong time. She goes, I really can't do this right now. I just started a new job. And I was like, okay. So I put her down for March. I remember calling her that day in March. She goes, you know what? I respect you so much. You call me every time you said you will call me. And she booked a party with me that day. And she booked a party at my beauty studio up in Virginia at the time. And she had with her cousin, her aunt, her mom. It was like 7 of them there. And from that party, I sold over $1,000 at that party. I had 2 new team members from that party. And really, truly, so many other things have come from that one party. Women referrals, women that I met. And it was literally months later. I know Lisa Mead, who's on this call, was someone that was booked months later. How many months did it take Susanna to book you?
So I want to say it was at least 4, maybe 5.
4 or 5 months. And that is just because Susana had an amazing booking follow-up system. And so you don't have to worry about having thousands of people to book. But what you want to worry about is having a great system for follow-up and making sure that people aren't falling through the cracks, because there are some amazing women out there who just can't answer right this minute, who can be supportive of your business, who want a free virtual beauty session with you, and who want to be a part of what you're doing. And so we're super excited. We're going to be sharing and unveiling some of these tools for you. We're going to post this booking follow-up sheet for you on our virtual how-to. We're also going to be booking for you, listing some scripts and some closing lines that will be really key in all of this. And we do have a great challenge for you before we split up. And so our challenge for you is that you get your list of 30 women and that you practice this system, that you call 10 tomorrow, that you call 10 on Thursday, that you reach out to 10 on Friday, and then you have that second and third and fourth attempt. Because by the time we're all together here again next Tuesday, you will have already almost worked through the entire cycle. And it's really powerful to see the results that you get when you work through that cycle. So, Lisa, Christine, anything else that you want to add to what I shared tonight before we break out into our groups?
I really love this system because I feel like for me, it removed sometimes you take things personal. So when somebody doesn't respond, there's an unresponsiveness. You're like, oh, she's uninterested, or she didn't respond to me, she didn't answer. And I love that this really proves that this is a numbers game. This is a business. How many times have I missed a message and like, I'll get back to that person, and I just her message became the last message in my thing and I forgot to respond. So it just really freed me to be like, there's a system for this and I need to trust it. This is proven, tried, true. Let me just implement it. So it made me look at responsiveness more like, okay, let me put her into my system of my follow-up. And you guys, it makes it so much easier versus to just like how often that fear of like, I don't want to push her, I don't want to ask one more time, or when you leave the ball in their court and they're like not calling you back, and then you're like, what do I do now? I don't want to be bothersome, versus to like, you're always leaving with the ball in your court because you're the one following up. They're expecting your follow-up. And I'm a woman of my word. So when I say I'm going to follow up, I will follow up. And you guys, I'm a product of that. Roxy, my recruiter, she literally followed up so much. And I remember thinking like, this woman's not going to let up. I've got to say yes one day so that she will just let me go. And then that's where God used me to bring me into Mary Kay. You know, she followed up. And I was at some point, I was finally going to say yes at one point. It took her a year as well to really get me to show up to an event. So I love that. I believe in that. Thank you so much for this, Mari. And this has been a system that we've used, and to see it now for the virtual world, it's perfect for where we are at. So thank you.
Love it. So I know that we want to break out into our room. So if you are a senior consultant or above, if you can go ahead and we are going to put you into a breakout room. So if you're a senior consultant or above, just raise your hand and let us see who you are. Okay, so I just want to see all the different pages. Here we go. Let's see, I don't want to miss anybody. If you're not on video, but you're a senior or above, go ahead and put your name in the chat, okay?
Some are raising their hands with the actual hands raised.
Yes, I see that.
Katie,
with the reaction? Oh, I can't see that part. Okay, Katie.
Katie Gilmore, obviously Mabel, Mayor, Brianna.
Odilis.
Okay, so we're going to.
Yeah, Mabel, Odilis, Brianna,
Elaine. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do this.
Joyce.
The Joyce.
Ali.
Lisa Michelle.
Aina.
All right, hold on a second. I can see here, but.
Christy Frost.
Christy Frost. I just want to make sure we get everybody in here. Christine, I'm putting you in there with them. Okay. All right. Christine, can you read them out to me one more time? So I have Ale, Brianna, Lisa Michelle, Mabel, Christy Frost, Katie, Odilis, and who else?
Brianna.
Brianna. I have Brianna on here.
Maybe
All
Lee.
right.
Madi, unfortunately, I actually can't stay. I have a class that I'm teaching starting in 45 minutes.
Wait,
I have to set up my sound system for it. So I'm
Oh.
glad I was able to jump on with the time difference, but I unfortunately can't stay for the break.
Yay.
Okay, awesome.
Weather looks beautiful in Washington.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead
Elaine.
and open the room up. And so we're going to go ahead and sit up now for just a second. So you've been invited to your breakout room. So all you have to do is just join that. Yay, and so Lisa and I get to stay here in Mercy with all of you. And if I did not assign you and you belong in a room, I'm going to assign you right now. Go. And I'm sending you to go.
Yeah, LaJoyce, Eileen,
Yeah, I just sent you
Elaine.
Bye-bye.
Okay. I was like,
All right, I think we got everybody. LaJoyce
and Paige, I don't, Paige, you're a senior, aren't you? Okay.
Not active
You will
anymore.
be. You
Okay,
will be.
You will be soon.
I'm
All right, so all of
claiming
you
an
that are
individual.
here with us are our beautiful consultants that are soon to be seniors in red jackets.
Yay.
And so we want to kick off our Q&A for the next 15 minutes.
Madi, excuse me, Mabel put on here that the link doesn't work.
But she must be in the right room because she's not here anymore.
Okay.
Somewhere, because she's not here. She's not here, so they're in cyberspace somewhere. Okay, so we are giving you a chance for Q&A. So what are your biggest questions about what we talked about today, about our follow-up system? What are your biggest questions for when you're booking? We want to know. No questions, so crystal clear. Everybody's good. You're gonna go book 10 parties, virtual sessions this week.
I had a question and I can't remember what it was. I should have wrote it down.
When you want to scroll through the chat, something might pique your interest because I was putting all the notes in the chat. So maybe scroll through that and see if it piques your interest.
And
so
you can mute yourself and ask us for sure.
So I know that Madi showed the graphic, and I'm gonna tell you, if you are not somebody where that like excites you, that's okay. The system can be the same, okay? If that kind of graphic doesn't excite you, because I know some people, I'm like, if you tell me like there's some other piece of paper I have to carry, I'm like, listen, that may not be for me, okay?
Do it in
You can literally have in your calendar, like do the 99-cent notebook. And of course, I don't know, I just ran out of ink. But I pretty much just have a notebook and I write like August 1st at the top, August 2nd. And this is the like my notebook that my calendar lives in. So like this is my one to go thing. So it can be as simple as that. And then, so if I message you today on August 4th, I voice memo you and I text you and I get no response, I skipped the 5th, I skipped the 6th, and I just write your name already on my sheet totaled the 7th. Or maybe you have a huge day planner and there's enough room in your planner to do all of this. I do it like that. So it's like, okay, a few more days, boom, a few more days. Maybe you have that, Caitlin. If there's enough room in there for your list, you go right ahead and do it, you know? So that might be, I started with just the 99-cent notebook because that's how Susanna taught me, and definitely works. Yep, you could do it all there. If there's enough room, so don't feel like stressed out, because I know some people do. It's different personality styles. If you're telling me I have to carry this extra piece of thing, or it has to be on the sheet, or it has to be this way, the concept can be transferred to whichever medium works best for you, and maybe it's electronic.
Is this is similar to the 21-day booking challenge?
It's the same concept.
Okay.
The exact same concept.
Okay. Because I kind of made up my own system with that model.
Exactly. So you already have the concept down, you just don't have it on that graphic, which is fine as long as it's the same concept. So it's really just a tool to help you create that system.
Yes,
I
exactly.
love, yeah, I love that you made that analogy. For those of you that have been in Mary Kay for any length of time, the 21-day booking system or booking challenge has been out there in the world of Mary Kay.
I actually just found it.
Well, that's okay. It's been around for a while, so.
Yeah. And I want to say that, you know, those of us have been in Mary Kay for any amount of time. When this became a really popular follow-up system, we really had not been teaching this level of follow-up with a lot of our consultants or directors. And so when we all started doing this, the results were really astounding, because what you get is bookings, you know, on that 4th, 5th, 6th attempt, that, and it's very powerful because all of a sudden you thought this person's never going to respond to me, and they do, because it really works. And so it's just going through the system, even when you're like, should I really reach out one more time? You know, it's trusting that the system does work.
And I loved when Mari shared that you're going to end each interaction with an action that you are taking next time. And I'm going to tell you why that's so important. Because how many of you have said, I left a message, she'll get back to me when she has time? Now you have a zero control and you're in this emotional like land where I guess she doesn't want to talk to me because she hasn't called me back. When the reality is she got busy. Something else happened on her phone, life happened, the kid threw up, whatever. She had to take the dog to the ER. But when you are letting them know, hey, I'm going to follow up with you in a couple days, it puts in their brain that they're expecting to receive contact from you. So it prepares them for the next contact without like, so they're not equating it with like a telemarketer or something like that. You know, like, hey, I just like, if I don't respond, they won't call me back. You've explained to them that you're going to respond. You know, so it kind of, you get to keep the ball so that you don't feel like I'm waiting for her to shoot the ball back from her side of the court. You always want to have the ball in your court, period. Because that's where you have the control. And what's great about the system is you don't have to think. Like Mari says, it doesn't get emotional because you're just doing what the next step in the system is. Boom, boom, boom. Just like after your cleanser, you do your microderm. After your cleanser, you do your moisturizer, depending on what day. Like, it's a system. There's no emotion tied to it. It just is what it is.
Love it. You're so important.
So, just a question. What would you say to somebody who you had just met versus somebody you've known initially?
Question. Go, Lisa.
Okay, so this goes kind of aligns with what Mari talked about, is what's in it for them, right? It's about a personal response. So if it's somebody, let's say like I just met at the grocery store or wherever, you just met them, you know, well, first of all, like, how did you make contact? Was it like, oh my God, I love your shoes. Oh my God, I love your dress. Whatever, however you connected, you're going to use that connection point to invite them to an event. So maybe she's like, oh my God, I love how you did your eye makeup. Boom, you know what I'm booking her for? A shake up her makeup. Something that's all about the eyes. That's how, like, I'm kind of tying it into that. And I would just say, hey, Paige, it was so great to meet you yesterday. And I'm so excited because this new event just came up. And as soon as it did, I thought of you. It's called All About the Eyes. I would love to invite you to it. What are you doing Saturday morning at 10 a.m.? You know, so like, it's all about the connection. Even if it is somebody who you've known for a while, maybe you've never approached them with Mary Kay. Maybe you have, but there's something different and new out now. But if you've known them, you kind of have an idea. They're a makeup girl or they're a skincare girl. So it helps you tie that too. And you can say, in this new virtual world, in this new quarantine situation, it's my job to make you feel. So I have a goal of making 15 women feel like a queen between this week and next week. So when do you want to have your queen time? This week or next week?
Okay.
Okay. So Quinn has a comment. Go ahead, Paige.
Sometimes my connection with people isn't necessarily makeup.
Great.
Like you said, when you're in the in the line at the grocery store, sometimes it's the kids that
Right.
are knocking into you.
Right. So if it's the kids, a mommy makeover.
Or this is what I do because I'm a busy mom. Like, I just want to share with you, like, this is like my busy mom look. This is I have a kid hanging from my leg look.
This is my 5-second routine I get in the bathroom time. Whatever it is. So,
but staring at me, in the bathroom.
Right.
And the more that you do it, the more these points are going to come, and it's going to be obvious, the connection. It's really just practice. Like Mari and I have just a lot more practice because we've done it a lot more time. So we can make a connection out of what seems like nothing. I can find a way to turn it into something, So Quinn asked, the last time I did the 21-day challenge, she had never felt so organized in her life. She had amazing results. Love that. So that must be coming from the other chat, but I love, oh no, here you are, Quinn. But I love that. I love that.
Absolutely. I actually still have, I'm going to look for I have them all saved because I'm one of those people that I like colorful things. Call me, it's very distracting, but it's also wonderful. I just love it. And so I would print these out, and I had a little plastic sheets, and I would put them in there, and then I could go back and look at my results and what was my booking average? Like geeky things like that. And it's so empowering to know your booking average. And that's something else that this follow-up system will give you, because it tells you how many women you need to reach out to get a booking. Katrina, you just raised your hand. It's all you.
I wanted to know, pre-COVID, when I was doing Mary Kay the first time a few years ago, there were the lead events. So while you're working your current network of people to book bookings, you also have potential bookings through those lead events. So my question is, now that we are in the virtual COVID era, what is the equivalent to lead events that we used to do that we don't have now? Or are we only restricted to pretty much just booking through our network only? Because I've been trying to figure that out. I can't. There is the business gift giving, of course, that can help grow, but that's the only thing I can think of.
So why don't we each share something? Lisa, and then I don't know if Mercy wants to share something too, but one of the things that really actually I did at the beginning was being specific, and I learned this actually in my BNI group, being really specific as to what you're looking for. Okay. So a lot of times when we ask people, we're like, oh, I'm looking to meet new women. Well, it's really hard. They know so many women that it's hard to think of a name when you say women. But if you say, I am looking to pamper some deserving nurses because they must be really stressed out, what deserving nurse do you know? That is super specific, because now they're thinking, who do I know that's a nurse?
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm looking to pamper, an empty nester whose kids just went off to college and now they're really sad. Specific, really specific. And actually, you can never be too specific, because the more specific you are, the more they're going to have a picture in their mind of who to send to you.
I love that. I love that. And even if you want, you can do things in your customer group. If you do have a
share this
VIP customer group where it's even like a almost like either like a bingo or something like that, where you have like whoever can fill their bingo out the most in it, and it could be something like each box is something like a redhead, a doctor, a lawyer, a mom, a nurse, a teacher, somebody who has brown shoes, somebody who never wears heels. Like, and they're like, they get the bingo and they want to fill in who they know that fits those categories. So a little bit in terms of being specific, right? It helps them fill in those boxes, but get a prize. You might be able to, if you, even just if you have like 15 people respond and it's just a 5x5, you know, like you don't have to make it where they have to do this big thing, or it could be a 2x2 square. But if you get 5 people to respond with filling out their 4-person square, then you have 20 new leads.
Right.
You know, that you could follow up with something like that.
And just to be really, you know, just to be clear, when I was saying about being specific about who you're asking for, I'm saying like on social media, I'm saying at your appointments, I'm saying those are new leads. So anytime you get a referral, that's a new lead. That's considered a new lead. So, you know, you can still attend virtual networking events. Also, Meetup has like all these virtual meetups. It's really interesting. But I meant like, you know, if you post something on social media, if you're speaking to a friend, if you're, you know, talking to an acquaintance as you're asking in your appointments, being really specific what you're looking for helps you to secure that lead versus saying I'm looking, you know, what 5 friends can you think of? They might not think of any 5 friends, you know, so.
But they might think of like, what 5 friends do you know that are dying to get the right brow?
Yes.
Like, oh my God, I always know people who like, they might know people who need brow help, and that's who they're gonna refer you to. But it doesn't matter, right? Or which 5 people, like, even if it's like, which 5 friends do you wish you could have wine with right now?
Jessica,
and make it like a winos night, like women in need of something.
Those are great ideas.
Jessica has a great question here. I don't know if either one of you have. Did you guys see it, Mercy or Lisa? Have you hosted a party for nurses? We have satin hands and lips, but what else can we throw in there? I love that because I've done a couple of these and I'm doing a big one next week. We're talking about mask me. I have a friend who's a nurse who's getting a lot of acne from wearing masks so much. And so we're talking about the charcoal mask. We're talking about the skincare. But, you know, it's really, and I love that, you know, Caitlin said it, anything on the go because they're busy with long hours. Absolutely. I don't know if Mercy or Lisa, have you guys done any?
Or even how they can play it. I've done things where people are like, because we're wearing masks now, they're concerned about how can we play up the eyes.
Love that.
Yeah.
How can we play up the eyes? Because that's what people are saying.
And also on social media, there's certain groups that you can also serve the social media. So you cannot be you know, soliciting them with your business or Mary Kay or whatnot. But when you know these groups and you know what they do as a business, you can all invite them to one of your virtual events, and they have the opportunity also to show their business to the ladies that are there.
Love that. We've got everybody back. I love it. So I know that we've come to the end here of our Tuesday, and we've got more amazing training next week. It's all about follow-up, right? So everybody on this call will tell you the fortune is in the follow-up. And so thank you for tuning in. Any last words that we want to share before we head out? And we all have our challenge, right? So we know what we're doing these next 3 days. All right. I love it. And the directors are going to lead the way.
Yes, clear focus for the next few days. I love it. We have a clear direction. Easy.
Oh, and I do want to share really quickly an event that we're doing. We're having a booking bash on Sunday. If you're interested in joining, if you missed our booking bash on this past Saturday, it was really powerful. I know I have 4 bookings from it, and I know many of the girls that were on have bookings too. So if you're available on Sunday, your sales director will share this link with you, but it's going to be on Zoom. We'll do quick, like 7:30 training and pep talk, and then we'll all get booking for about an hour together. Everybody's on Zoom together, and we're all just on mute booking.
I really liked that a lot. It was very encouraging, and it kind of like felt, I don't know, like everybody was like we were all together, even though we weren't. Like that was, for me, it was very encouraging because I have, not that I struggle with making the phone calls, but I don't know, it's just kind of, you don't feel like you're alone type of thing. And then you can see everybody on the phone, So I really liked it. That was really encouraging for me, just so you ladies know.
I love it.
Accountability makes a big difference. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we want to see
And I think that's probably it too. It's probably accountability that and it just kind of pushes you. It pushes that limit. I really liked it. I think I needed that. So I had fun with that. And I got 2 bookings from there, so.
And Ale just said you got 2 bookings from her. I love that. And I know that Ale just said that she misses days when we could get together and book. And so this is a way that we can get together and book. So we would love to have you with us if you're able to join us on Sunday from 7:30 to 9. So have a powerful week, ladies. We're excited to celebrate all the bookings that you're going to get and earn that amazing gift when you get those 10 appointments by the 10th. All right. Have a powerful night. Love you all.